Elimination Chamber is this Saturday in Chicago, and before I get into my predictions, I talked last week about anger from establishments in Las Vegas over WWE and TKO blocking them from hosting WrestleMania watch parties within a 50-mile radius of Allegiant Stadium. This is an effort to force people to buy tickets to the show. Emails have already gone out to people who have bought tickets for some of these watch parties at various places, letting them know that they're canceled. So it's being enforced, being enforced to the extent that these establishments are not going to risk, getting fined. So they're sending out cancellation notices. Well, it sounds like this may be a new policy going forward for all PLEs, or at least the ones they're struggling to sell out, because the same thing is now happening in Chicago for Elimination Chamber. Per Fightful Select, several venues in the market have been informed that they cannot host watch parties for the event. Based off the last WrestleTix update that I saw on Friday morning, there's an awful lot of blue dots on that seating chart on the floor. Like, there's so many floor seats that are still available. I don't even want to know what those seats are going for. But they have 14,895 tickets distributed for the show on a setup of 17,000, which is a strong number. It's not a sellout yet, but it's a strong number. But the cheapest ticket for nosebleeds is listed at $261. And again, I don't think that's inclusive of taxes. Again, the watch party ban, it's just pure greed. I mean, that's all it is. I want you to think about this. No one in their right mind who is going to an Elimination Chamber watch party with their friends at fucking Applebee's is suddenly going to go, oh man, I guess I'll have to pay $400 now to go to the United Center and sit in the upper deck to watch the show. Like, no one is doing this. Now, right now, it's a blackout. At some point, you watch. Watch them agree to let them show these PLE. It might not be for this one, but watch them allow them to show the PLEs, but for some ridiculously, astronomical licensing fee. That would basically be the equivalent of charging people who attend the same prices that they would charge for tickets to the actual show. Because that's probably what's coming up next. Like, Formula One tried this a few years ago in Vegas. They were threatening to block views and obstruct views of the races unless they paid, establishments, hotels, bars, millions of dollars in fees. It was something like $1,500 a head. And who do you think that those establishments, those hotels and restaurants would be passing that cost on to? All right, there was such an uproar over it, they ended up slashing it down to $50,000 per establishment. And I don't know how it is now. This was a few years ago. But don't be surprised if they end up taking a similar route at some point. Instead of asking, why are tickets not selling well? Or why are they not selling as quickly as they were before? You know what we should do? Instead of asking the obvious question, let's figure out other ways that we can make up for it by shaking people down. Yeah, that'll work. Now, for the card, we still have 2 more qualifying matches tomorrow night, so these predictions are pending what happens there. If they change, I will talk about it on the Uncrowned Wrestling Show this Tuesday. We have the crate reveal. I already gave you my thoughts, right? Danhausen or Demon Balor. I think it ends up being one of those two. The Women's Elimination Chamber with Tiffany Stratton, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Kiana James, and the winner of Io Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, and Kairi Sane tomorrow night. I'm going with Io Sky to qualify. I think she gets in. And I'm going with Alexa Bliss to win the Elimination Chamber match. And I'm going to tell you why. Charlotte Flair did not qualify for the Chamber. And I know there are people who are looking at this and going, well, they must be building for Charlotte to wrestle Alexa instead. Because there have been hints, right, about some issues they've had. And Charlotte's been, trying to make it work and everything. But there's been some tension there. But they're in a tough spot right now because they do not have an obvious great challenger for Jade Cargill at WrestleMania. And I do not think Jade Cargill is losing that championship like Rhea Ripley did last year before they get to WrestleMania. I do not see that happening. She's going to walk into WrestleMania as the champion. So what is the best option here? Rhea Ripley, when there was another little face-off between her and Jade. I think it was backstage on Friday. And the fans popped. Like, the fans would love to see Rhea Ripley challenge Jade for the title. I just don't see it happening. I don't see them moving Rhea Ripley over to SmackDown. I don't see them pulling her away from Io Sky and whatever Io's going to be doing at WrestleMania. Because otherwise Rhea would be the marquee choice here. I don't see it being her. I think Alexa wins the Chamber. And I think that Charlotte is going to end up working her way into this situation. I think that the match for WrestleMania may well be a three-way with Jade defending against both Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. And I think Charlotte and Alexa, they start to have issues. Those issues can spill over into the world title picture where Alexa qualifies, so she's got a guaranteed shot. Charlotte was playing it cool the other night, like, she lost, but I'm okay. But she's not okay. And then I think that kind of blows over onto television in the next few weeks. And somehow she works her way into that title picture and we get a triple threat. And the issues with Charlotte and Alexa, they're going to end up canceling each other out in that match. And that's how Jade is going to escape WrestleMania still with her championship. But I think that's where we're headed here. Because I don't see that one obvious challenger for Jade, instead of just doing Charlotte and Alexa non-title on the undercard, I think you work both of them into the title match. I think that's the match for WrestleMania. Now, Becky Lynch is going to defend her women's Intercontinental title against AJ Lee. This is AJ's first singles match in 11 years. I saw that segment, the promo segment with them on Monday night. It was not good. It was not good. And it certainly did not do anything to get me excited to see this match between them on Saturday. But they're going to have a match, and look, I'm not really a big fan, honestly, of taking the belt off of Becky and putting it on AJ. I don't think AJ needs it. I just don't think that's the right move to make. I question if you put the belt on her now, is she even going to defend it on television between now and WrestleMania? But it's very clear to me that this is the first of at least two matches that we're going to get between the two of them. And AJ Lee is clearly not full-time. And we don't need titles on people who are not going to be on television every single week. I'm sorry. So if you wanted to get the Intercontinental title onto AJ Lee, then the place to do it is her adopted hometown here of Chicago. And when this show is over, I think you got AJ and Punk walking out of there both with hardware over their shoulders. If AJ is going to get the belt, I would much rather her get it here than WrestleMania. I'm going with AJ Lee to win. You want to put the championship on her, do it now. I mean, that'll just drive Becky even further off the brink of sanity. And then when you run it back at WrestleMania, maybe with a stip, put the belt back on Becky and be done with it. And then Becky can defend against other people. What I would rather not see is AJ win it at Mania, and then we don't even know if she's going to be around. How often are we going to even see her on TV? If she's going to be around, then that's fine. Then go ahead and do it at Mania. But I'm picking her to win here because I think that's the better way to go. CM Punk defends his World Heavyweight Championship in his hometown of Chicago against Finn Balor. Will it be Finn Balor? Will it be Demon Balor? I don't know, but one thing I can tell you is that CM Punk is not losing the World Heavyweight Championship in Chicago ahead of a WrestleMania showdown with Roman Reigns. CM Punk is going to win this match. And in the men's Elimination Chamber, currently we have Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, LA Knight, Javon Evans, and Trick Williams. Jey Uso, Bronson Reed, and the OG El Grande Americano. They're going to be fighting for that final spot tomorrow night. I am going to say that Brock Lesnar knocks Gable out of his spot. He's not even in the match. But he takes his spot. He ends up winning the match because the alternative is Jey Uso yeeting inside the chamber, and ain't nobody needs to see that. So Brock Lesnar is going to qualify for the elimination. That's my bold prediction here. Brock Lesnar is going to qualify for the Elimination Chamber. And then inside the chamber, Brock is going to get eliminated by LA Knight or some combination of Knight and somebody else. It could be Knight and Cody, just like it was at the Rumble. Only to then destroy LA Knight, which then leads to LA Knight being eliminated from the match. That then sets things in motion for the WrestleMania match that nobody asked for. Again, I am not advocating for a Brock Lesnar LA Knight match at WrestleMania. I'm just saying I think there's a very real chance that's going to be the match. And how do you get there? What do you do to set things in motion to get from point A to point B? That's how I think it goes down. The chamber if I'm booking this, the chamber then comes down to two men, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. And Cody Rhodes wins the Elimination Chamber. And the show ends with an angry Randy Orton. And maybe he doesn't look so angry. Maybe he's kind of fighting off demons in his head, and Cody's looking for a handshake, and it looks like Randy's going to give him one. But then Randy drops Cody, finally, with an RKO out of nowhere. And maybe even a punt kick. Take him off TV for a couple of weeks. Oh my goodness, what does this mean now for WrestleMania, right? Cody's guaranteed his shot, but you've also got Jacob Fatu, and you've got Randy Orton beefing with Cody and Drew. All four men, they don't like each other. And if we don't get a fatal four-way in Las Vegas, we at least get a three-way with Fatu involved. And Randy could be Cody's first program coming out of WrestleMania. But I think we need to finally get a resolution to who attacked Jacob Fatu. That storyline has still not been resolved. I know that Jacob thinks that Drew did it. Drew has always maintained, I didn't do it. I wouldn't lie to you. If I was going to attack you, I'd do it to your face. I'd be on television gloating about it, that I kicked all your teeth out. I didn't do it. Right? And we haven't heard anything about this story, this mystery. It was like dropped. But I think they circle back around to it. If Randy Orton turns on Cody Rhodes at the end of the Elimination Chamber, then coming out of that show, I say we end up getting the reveal that it wasn't Drew McIntyre who kicked Jacob in the mouth and knocked all 11 teeth out. It was Randy Orton with a punt kick. And that cements the heel turn, because him dropping Cody with an RKO on its own, that ain't going to be enough to get this guy booed. Like, some people will boo him, but a lot of people are going to cheer him for it. But if it comes out that he attacked Fatu, like people like Jacob, it gives people more of a reason to boo Randy. Like, some people just aren't going to boo him no matter what. And they'll always pop for the RKO out of nowhere. But you give people a better reason to boo this man. And then you can do a four-way at WrestleMania for the title, right? Or you could do Cody against Drew and Randy against Jacob in separate matches. But I don't want to see Cody against Drew one-on-one. Like, I'm going four-way. If you give me the option, three-way, four-way, I'm doing multi-man all the way over Cody against Drew one-on-one. And then who's to say that Cody even needs to win the belt back at WrestleMania? You do a fucking four-way match, give the belt to Randy Orton, and let Cody keep chasing for it coming out of WrestleMania. Him and Jacob could chase after Randy, because now they have reasons to hate Randy Orton. You got Orton back in that mix right there. He's got that championship, and they're chasing after him. That's how I see it going down. And I will be live on YouTube when that show is over. So we'll have the full Elimination Chamber recap next Saturday. You'll get a bonus podcast from me next weekend.